Mecool has done it again. They created another Android TV box. Now this one is running the Google TV OS. Now this is a KM7 Plus Ultra HD streaming box. It supports Netflix, YouTube, Prime Video, all in 4K, and it comes with 4K HDR Ultra HD. In the box, you will find a user manual, the device itself, a Google referenced remote, a power supply, and an HDMI cable. Here is the user manual, front page. It is a very basic user manual. Here is the remote control. Now this is a Google reference remote, and it comes with a YouTube button, Netflix, Disney Plus, and Prime Video buttons. It is a 12 volt, 1 amp power adapter. It comes with a basic HDMI cable. Okay, let's take a look at this device itself. I really like the design of it. It's all plastic, but you got the white border around it, and you got the Mecool logo, so I really like the design. This box is utilizing the Amlogic S905Y4 system on a chip, and it supports the AV1 video HDR codec. In this particular device, it comes with 2 gigabytes of memory and 16 gigabytes of storage. The front of the device has 3 LEDs, one for the infrared, one for the network, and one for the power. So it has 3 LED indicators. On the rear, you have the SPDIF, AV, HDMI, and Ethernet ports, and the power plug. Now the Ethernet is only fast Ethernet and not gigabit. This side is totally blank. This side you have 2 USB ports and a micro SD card slot. The bottom has a lot of ventilation holes. Okay, let's go connect it to the TV and see how it performs. This is the first Google TV operating system running on a box form factor. All of the other devices running the Google TV operating system are dongles, and this is a box form factor. Anyway, this is the interface as you first turn it on. Now I've already loaded up my apps. Again, this is the first page, so there is a little difference between Google TV and Android TV in the presentation. So this is what I'm going to show you. Now, if you notice, I've subscribed to HBO Max. And these are some of the shows, action shows. Now this again, disaster movies. These are all HBO Max. And this one is Paramount Plus, which I also subscribe to. So what this does is recommend media that you subscribe to. So that's the advantage of Google TV versus Android TV. I'm going to show you a little more of the interface before I get into some more details. Again, this is what it looks like. And again, this is Google TV. This is not Android TV. Okay, so that's the, for you. Here's movies. Again, they tried to base it on what you watch and what services you subscribe to. It's pretty accurate, but then there's a little hit or miss in it also. So again, this is the interface. Now let's take a look at some of the apps. There's the HD Home Run, MB, Netflix. Okay, let's take a look at Easy Viz right now. I have several Easy Viz cameras, and I'm using the Easy Viz app on this device, and this is the camera that's inside my garage. There's another camera. That is my wireless battery powered camera that's sitting in my back lot. Let's take a look at the HD Home Run app. This is the HD Home Run app. This is the MB app. Live TV, movies, TV shows. Let's take a look at live TV. This is the interface of MB. And here's the guide. So that's the MB guide using live TV from my antenna on the roof. MB plays the video in HDR. You see at the top, HDR10. Next we're going to test Netflix. Okay, that one plays in 4K HDR also, so I'll check that out. Okay, that was playing in HDR10. Next we're going to test YouTube. Let's search for 4K HDR video. 4K HDR video. There we go right there. Let's try that one right there. That's the old standby.
Nice place.
All right, we look commercials over.
Did you?
Okay, there you go. This shows HDR10 right there on the screen. So this one plays in HDR10. We're going to test YouTube to see if it plays the AV1 video codec. AV1 video. Okay, here's the stats for nerds under YouTube, and this is playing the AV1 video codec. No drop frames. Perfect. Okay, next we're going to test Voodoo to see if it plays in HDR. Okay, Voodoo does not play in HDR. It only plays in high definition, not 4K. Now, Voodoo does not play this in HDR. However, the native app on this device does play in HDR, which I'll show you now. 10 also. HBO Max, we'll see if it plays in 4K or HDR. That plays in HDR also. Now we're going to test the Apple TV app. This plays in 4K HDR10+, so that is your Apple app running on this device, and it plays in HDR10+. Next, we're going to test Peacock. As to expected, Peacock only plays in 1080p, but not HDR. Now let's check out Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus plays in 4K, but not HDR. I do not subscribe to Prime Video, so I cannot test that one. Let's take a look at DRM Info. Okay, here's the information on DRM Info. Okay, it supports those HDR10, HDR10 Plus, and HLG. So we did verify that it does indeed play HDR10 Plus if your TV supports it. Okay, here's your Widevine support. Level 1. HDCP 2.3. Okay, let's take a look at the settings. Display and sound. Here's the advanced display settings. Dynamic range format preference, and I've got it set to HDR because I have an HDR TV. And this one is match contact dynamic range. Now, I got it set to adaptive HDR, so if the video is not playing formatted in HDR, it will not show HDR, so I like that setting. And this is the options of the color format, and I really don't understand all those, but it seems to work. And these are your resolution settings. This is your advanced sound settings. Those are your options: automatic, never, or pass-through. Here's your network and internet settings. Now I am using Ethernet, so I have my Wi-Fi disabled. These are your privacy settings, location, usage and diagnostics, Google Assistant settings, voice control, personal results, show proactively. Now you cannot see the lettering because it's so white on this black background. Never show proactively. Now these are the searchable apps. This is the interesting one right here. Okay, these are the searchable apps that I have installed on this device at this point in time, so I can enable or disable those apps right there. This is your app permission screen, special app access, energy optimization, usage access. Usage allows an app to track what other apps you're using and how often, as well as your carrier language set. Anyway, that's your spyware right there. You can disable that if you wish. Notification access, display over other apps. This is modify system settings. I can modify the system settings. This permission allows an app to modify the system settings. And here's your security and restrictions. Unknown sources. Your device and personal data are more vulnerable to attack by apps from unknown sources. You agree that you are solely responsible for any damage to your device or loss of data that may result from using these apps. And those are the apps that are enabled. Here's the list of apps. That's just a sample of the screen. And this is your system screen. Accessibility, about, date and time, language, keyboard, storage, ambient mode, power and energy, turn off display, never. So that's your powered energy. Cast. Okay, that's system. Remote and accessories. And I have a Bluetooth remote that comes with it. And that is a G10. Battery level is good. This is the screen where you can set up your remote buttons. Okay, let's take a look at AIDA64. And there's your system information. It's a brand Mecool, but it's manufactured Skyworth Digital 4K Google TV box. Amlogic. There's the CPU and the display, network, Android, thermal, apps, and there's the codecs. These are all the codecs that this device supports, and there's an abundance of them. But it does support the AV1 codec, so I need to go back and demonstrate that for you. Okay, that's what this device does, running the Google TV operating system. And again, there's the movies. This is the interface. Shows. Anyway, this is a slick little device, and again, this is the only device that uses the box as a form factor running this Android TV, or excuse me, Google TV OS, not Android TV. So that's the new box. So thank you for watching, and I hope you like it.